Hello, my name is Sabrina. It has been suggested to me that I share with you my process in creating an oil painting. So I thought I would bring you along on this one that I'm presently doing. As you can probably see, these are a close-up of an orchid. I grow orchids, and ever since I was around 16, I've been doing photography and oil painting at the same time. So I take my own photographs, I load them into Photoshop, and then I do a grid on them and a grid on the canvas. This canvas is 20 by 16, and I transfer it. This can take quite a long time. So I put the grid numbers up here, 1 through 19, well, it would be 20 if we went all the way, and then 1 through 15, 16 would be the end here. And I make sure that when I'm transferring the image, I'm paying attention as best as I can to get them in the blocked area. There's a lot of racing that goes on usually with this process because inevitably I'm not looking at the image as well as I should be. And then when I go to check, sometimes I'll be off a grid block, which will not work. And since I'm a realist, I'm going to try really hard to get the image correct. It becomes a problem when I'm painting. I use oils. If I don't have it correct and then I look at the image and something is off, then I have to make a correction in the actual painting, whereas I'd rather get it correct the first time so I'm not looking at it going, there's something wrong there. Anyways, I thought I would do a little bit of this while I had you here. So I am right here in grid 8, 9, 7, 8. So I have to check it. 8, 9, 7, 8. And I'm right at this sunlit part right there. All of this takes many hours before I actually begin to paint. I do keep track of my time as I'm painting, but I don't keep track of this time, even though it is part of it. Once in a while I will, if I'm doing a commission, I will sometimes, that's not right, I will sometimes keep track of everything. And then I price the painting accordingly. Of course, with a commission, I've already given a price, but I'm guesstimating how long it's going to take me with a commission. So it seems to me something is off, because this should be, if you looked at it sideways, it should be more symmetrical. It is possible, of course, to draw without a grid, and of course I've done that, but when you're trying to be a realist and you want to make sure everything's right, it's much easier if you have a guideline as a check. Of course, you'll have to go on your instincts the further you go into a painting, because photography is off a little bit and might skew your image, especially when you're doing perspective. So you have to pay attention to that. So what I'll probably be doing is a little bit of the preparation, like now, I'm showing you. Excuse me, and then I will probably do some step-by-step as I go along in the painting. And then at the end, I'd probably, this is guessing because I haven't tried to film this sort of stuff before, 7 by 8, 4 by 6, 7 by 8, 4 by 6 right here. And in the end, I will probably do a fast version of the whole painting, in case that's what you're more interested in and not at the actual process. So I take quite a number of photographs of my subject. Sometimes I'll know that I'm going to paint it, sometimes I won't know. And then I do a little bit of manipulation in Photoshop with things like saturation of color and exposure, if my exposure wasn't quite right for the image that I want. Oh, look at there, I met up, so that was right. I thought I'd take one of the more interesting parts of the flower to draw in front of you. And as you can tell, this is rather time consuming, but it's important. And let me just give you a little close-up of what I'm working on, in case the light isn't quite right. And I still have all this area that I have to fill with drawing. I will be extremely accurate in my photograph, transferring into paint with the actual flowers. But as far as the background, I'll be a little looser there. I may introduce some colors that aren't exactly showing up in the photograph. We'll see. But thanks for joining. I'll just keep working. Next time.